Maybe you're looking for an apartment, maybe you're thinking about it, but you're wondering, I haven't rented an apartment in Austin before, or I haven't rented an apartment in years. What's it like renting an apartment these days? We're going to jump into that right now. Here are four things that I'd like to point out for your consideration when you're renting an apartment here in Austin or generally just in Texas. Number one, when you rent an apartment, you are automatically going to be entered into a built-in community. You're automatically going to have neighbors, and in most cases, you're going to have hundreds of them. For some people, that's awesome. For some people, that can be a little overwhelming. But here are two pros and two cons around a built-in community. Number one, you start frequenting the same places like coffee shops or restaurants and stuff like that. You're going to start seeing the same people over and over, and you kind of meet friends that way. You're like, hey, don't you? You're like, yeah, wasn't you the guy at the pool party? And you're like, yeah, but which one though? Because if it was that crazy one, that wasn't me. And you can immediately strike up a conversation with another human being without it being weird because you live in the same area, you do the same things, you've seen the same things, right? Another pro with having a built-in community is that you automatically get to meet new people, different types of people, different cultures, different backgrounds. And because the world is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, I mean, you learn something new from other people all the time. So if you have a growth mindset, you steadily like learning, you enjoy, learning new things or doing new things, you're going to have that automatically with a built-in community. And because they're already your neighbors, you are going to have something in common. Now, two cons to having a built-in community is you may live next to someone who you may not very much like from the beginning. And your hope is that you don't have to meet them and do more and hang out with them, et cetera, et cetera. But the pro to that con is, in most cases, you or that neighbor will be moving in about a year. So you're not stuck with that person for like 15, 20, 30 years and have to think about like, oh my goodness, this is the rest of my life. A second con that I would say to built-in communities is, unfortunately, you did not build the apartment. So because you didn't build the apartment, you don't know how that apartment unit has been constructed. So I recommend taking a look at apartments that are typically built to like condo spec, because then you have enough insulation, like between like your walls and ceilings and things like that, so that you can just hear yourself and not the conversations of your built-in community neighbors next door or above or below. So if you want to kind of avoid that, make sure that you ask if the building has been built to condo spec, and I'll probably give you a good general idea of how much insulation will be in between like the walls and the ceiling and stuff like that. The second insight is that you have property maintenance teams. And that is a huge benefit living in apartments, because if your heater goes out or your AC goes out or your microwave stops working, or something's going on with the oven, you just make a phone call or fill out a ticket and they come and fix it. No money out of your pocket. You're not trying to get quotes or anything like that to have it repaired. Like, it's already done for you. So that is a major, major benefit when you are renting an apartment. Whereas if you were not living in an apartment and you were owning a home, say, and something happens to the roof or something happens with appliance, you are paying for that. Not so an apartment. So that's another benefit that you can expect when you move. Do you hear all that? So that's another benefit that you can expect when you move into an apartment here in Austin, or pretty much any apartment in Texas. A third benefit that I say you get living in an apartment is definitely going to be the amenities. Now, the amenities that you'll have will be property specific. Some properties have similar amenities, some have very unique amenities. My recommendation to you is ensure that you use the amenities in a way that benefits you, your life, the things you enjoy doing, your hobbies. I mean, even your business, right? There are some properties that have like Zoom rooms or like podcast rooms. If that's marketing that you use for your business or you want to use for your business, use those amenities. They're there for you, typically included in the rent or your total rent, right? Some have it included in the rent, some offer it with an additional amenity fee, but you have access to it, so use it to your benefit, right? So amenities are gonna be probably the icing and the cherry on top of the cake in any apartment that you are renting. And then lastly, what's it like living in an apartment is you're typically going to be in a denser area. Apartments are typically very close in proximity to entertainment and things to do. So moving into an apartment, I mean, you have the added benefit of pulling into your parking space and leaving your car there typically over the weekend because you can either Uber, walk, or scooter to something that's really close by, typically within a couple miles, if not like right down the street. So that is a plus because you don't have to worry about getting in your car to go do things. You don't have to worry about getting in your car to go meet people anywhere. You can take a nice stroll on a nice day like this and go have a drink with friends or go grab something to eat or go to a fitness class or go to Pilates, yoga, whatever you're into, all within walking distance. So, what's it like living in an apartment? There are so many benefits, but it's actually going to be based on what you're looking for in a living situation and what you are trying to avoid in a living situation. So if you are looking for a dense area, you want to be around people, you want to have access to, you know, groups of people, jobs, businesses, opportunities, I would definitely say that living in an apartment is going to be for you because you don't have to do anything more than just go home to where you live. Now, one of the main reasons why I like living in apartments is because, like, look, as I'm walking around, right? You have buildings, you have trees. It's just a wonderful area. It's 70-ish out here. I don't know. I think it's 78, 75 today. And clear skies, nice air. I like having like the neighborhood feel without having to worry about having to get in my car and drive anywhere for 10, 15, 20 minutes. I know that if I wanted to meet up with some friends or meet up with you at a future event, I have access to 7 restaurants within a 7-minute walk that we can meet. Or if we wanted to grab some coffee, there's probably like 3 or 4 coffee shops around me right now. I enjoy that, right? What's it like living in an apartment is really going to come down to convenience, right? And a lot of times the pricing that you pay for apartments is based on that convenience. How convenient is it to get from point A to point B? How convenient is it for you to just roll out of bed and fall into a coffee shop? How convenient is it for someone or the maintenance team to come fix, the stove or refrigerator should anything happen? And that is the major benefit of living in the apartments, right? What's the convenience of saving on gas? Because when I get home on a Thursday or a Friday, I don't have to get in my car until Monday. Why? Because I can walk anywhere and everywhere. I can take an Uber, I can use a scooter. But again, if that's not what you do or if that's not what you're looking for, then none of this may matter to you. So I hope this quick video was helpful. It gave you more insight to what it's like living in an apartment, what you can do living in an apartment, and also some questions to ask and things to pay attention to when you're determining or evaluating or deciding on which apartment to live in. What area you live in is going to be a big component to your apartment living experience. So also know that as well. living in different areas of the city. You're going to see different price points. You're going to have different types of amenities. You're going to have different types of construction builds. So all of those are also factors that you need to think about when you're considering where you're going to live when moving into your apartment. So I hope this video was a great starting point for you in considering where you want to live next. Should an apartment be one of your options? If this was helpful, give it a like. Let me know your thoughts. If I've missed something that you want to hear more about or you want me to expand on later, let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to do it in a future video. And if you were looking for any help with your apartment search, give us a shout. My team and I will love to assist you in getting your next apartment down in the books. Talk with you later. Until next time.